talk about Tetris 99. This game is the sole reason on why this video has been taking so long to make. Not because I couldn't find a starting point in how I can commence my discussion, but as the sheer fact that this game is so goddamn addictive to play that I simply cannot even continue my daily life without it. Hell, I'm actually thinking about playing the game right now as I'm writing this script. Don't tempt me. Then again, I can say that about any other video game I pick up and play from beginning to end. But that's besides the point. My main question I'll be asking throughout is this. What makes Tetris 99 so special in the rapidly evolving battle royale craze? That's why I'm here to answer that, and to hope that I reach a satisfying conclusion to all of this. Time to rain down some blocks in your parade as I talk about Nintendo's surprising reveal of 2019. First of all, we had to start at the beginning. The year 1989, the year Nintendo unveiled their first handheld console, the Game Boy, 8-bit in all its glory. However, in the UK, the Game Boy took almost a year for it to come out, and was released in the PAL region on September the 28th, 1990. And what was one of the very first launch titles for the hapless brick? Tetris! Of course! Created in 2 weeks by Alexei Pachinov. The version that was bundled with the Game Boy is in fact the portable version of the original Tetris. Its release dating back as far as June the 6th, 1984 on the Electronica 60 in the USSR. This is what it looked like. Soak in that nostalgia while you can. Of course, I was born way after that and grew up with these types of computers instead. The old Windows 95 models. They didn't have Tetris on it, unfortunately, but I remember vaguely that it did house some games like Astrofire, The Neverhood, and a weird Super Mario Bros. DOS game. Now this is my kind of nostalgia. My nostalgia aside, I also did manage to own one of these Game Boys back in the day, as well as a couple of games that I own, accompanied by this weird backlight add-on I had to buy separately because when you're playing games in the dark, you need to have these equipped for maximum accuracy. Anyway, back on the topic of Tetris, the game itself became rather popular to the point that it sold 35 million copies as of June 2009, and became the 5th ranked best Nintendo game on the official Nintendo magazine. Naturally, there has been a whole smorgasbord of Tetris games ever since, including Tetris Friends, Pokemon Tetris,
EA Tetris,
and even a Tetris game for the Sony Ericsson. I swear I couldn't find any photos or videos of this. Does anybody know what I'm on about? It was like a Tetris variant game that was in fully 3D. You play in the top-down view and it ran very slow because the phones weren't demanding a tech back then. Please fill me in if anybody knows, please. Jump forward to the present day with the most recent Tetris game being Tetris Effect for the PlayStation VR, and was widely beloved by critics that it eventually won the Best VR Game Awards at the New York Game Awards, and several awards before that. It seems that Tetris has a prolonged effect in gaming culture, and has become the most recognized icon in human history. It looks like Tetris as a concept is not going to die down anytime soon. Oh, I forgot about you. Okay, I might as well get this off my chest and proclaim that I'm not really a big fan of battle royale games, at least in terms of shooters. I tried my hand at Fortnite, to be sure, and the experience that I had with it just wasn't clicking for me. Here's my list of examples why. The game takes too long to put me in, and when I die, I have to go back to square one. Bad coordination between mouse and keyboard. Steep learning curve, and latency is laggy as shit. I just take way too long. Running around empty spaces and finding someone to kill. Now, granted, at the time that I played this was way before Epic Games began to add new features, and before other competitors decided to jump on the bandwagon and hijack the Twitch numbers from them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the game sucks in my eyes. Regarding its numbers and the profit it's making for them to start their own digital game store, there is a massive amount of appeal to be had here. I'm only stating from my point of view that I couldn't connect with it during the amount of time I spent with it. I doubt that I can muster the courage to play through PUBG, Call of Duty Blackout, Apex Legends, and come out thinking that I had a really good experience with them. Perhaps, later in the future, all of that will change. Wait a minute.
Tetris 99.
Holy shit! Tetris Battle Royale! I'm so on board with this! Yeah, this apparently happened. I was there when me and my friend on Discord watched the Nintendo Direct live, as this reveal started burning my retinas with excruciating joy. My impressions were set in stone, and my goal was to jump on and try this game out. Oh, but what is this that I see before me? Tetris 99 is only exclusive to Nintendo Switch Online members. Oh, I forgot about you. Nintendo has a history of making absurd business practices when it comes to supporting their consoles, from the Virtual Boy all the way to the Wii U. The Nintendo Switch Online is no exception. When the Nintendo Switch initially launched in March 2017, it touted that the online wasn't going to be a paid subscription service until September of next year, which was fine at the time. Clearly, is their answer to the rising popularity of PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, but this time, their prices are lower than the usual fees. When September finally came, there were problems that continued to arise. Gamers had to pay to play online now. Voice chat has been locked behind a smartphone app that you have to install and connect your headset to your mobile phone. Exclusive offers that nobody really cares about. When your subscription ends, your cloud saves get erased, so if you didn't back them up, you're fucked! And the biggest culprit of all, the Nintendo Entertainment System library lacked a huge amount of classic games to play on. People were angry about this, and rightfully so. Why would they pay for a subscription with hardly any guarantee to sustain that purchase? A move had to be set by Nintendo to help encourage people that what they are paying for would yield a strong return. Yeah, you all know where I'm going with this. In case you've forgotten, I redirect you back to my main question. What makes Tetris 99 so special in the rapidly evolving Battle Royale craze? I can start off with the fact that it's not a first-person, third-person shooter. A puzzle game as iconic as Tetris is bound for plenty of ideas, so why not apply Battle Royale to the equation? The game programs itself, and the results commence like clockwork. It takes upon a more casual, relaxing, and methodical approach of the usual Tetris playstyle, and turns it into a frantic, energizing brain exercise against other players. And speaking of other players, we can also mention that the game is pitting you against them, which helps add more tension along with a high level of hand-eye coordination between you and a relationship with other people. When accompanied by the music, it's aiming to make you freak out and tries to fuck up your autopilot function. Okay, that piece goes here. Oh yes, I got it. Oh fuck, no! Shit! Okay, the Joy-Cons don't seem to work. I'll just try the controller then. This segues into my next point. Interchangeable playstyle. You can play using the Joy-Cons, you can play using the controller, or you can play in handheld mode. There's never usually a problem where one mode of play is allowed to be cheesed so that you can get an easy advantage. Except if you're this guy. The basis of the Switch is its different modes of play, and with a game like Tetris 99, it's no different here. I find that I'm more comfortable with the controller, as I have that finite grip to place one of your fingers over the L button to allow for easy holding of your pieces if you're attempting a fast approach. Another reason is that you can choose who you want to target on the screen. This option allows you to incorporate strategy and quick thinking into tricking the other players to target you, giving you the opportunity to unleash a ton of blocks their way, scoring tons of KOs, and acquiring badges to boost your power to its maximum potential. It's the kind of game that you can easily pick up and put down in a flash. Starting a match and ending a match doesn't take that long at all. This instantly erases my problems with the longevity of waiting before a match starts. Trust me, the only time when I have the patience is my time spent with RPGs. And you can definitely see that being the case. You can play the game in short bursts, and you can play the game in a long session. It's not long before my dopamine kicks in when you want to be that guy who rakes in as many number ones as you can. I mean, look at this one! I KO'd
Mike Wazowski!
Eat that, childhood! The usual complaint when it comes to criticizing Battle Royale games is that there is no reward when you have finally become the number one guy. Saying that is like saying we don't play video games to immerse ourselves in the story and the gameplay. Something about that just doesn't add up. And finally, this game does not possess any microtransactions. I mean, could you imagine if it did? Despite the game being free to play, the price of the subscription is enough on its own to enjoy this game. Not to say that Nintendo hasn't dabbled in the freemium market before. I remember when I played Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and how the microtransactions were favored more over interesting sim-like gameplay. Shigeru Miyamoto in his interview with Bloomberg said that subscription-style services should play a bigger role in games, and that the key is to develop a culture of paying for good software. He went on to say that it's necessary for developers to learn to get along with subscription-style services. When seeking a partner for this, it's important to find someone who understands the value of your software. Then customers will feel the value in your apps and software and develop a habit of paying money for them. Sort of sounds familiar in this case in a way that it almost rings true. We live in an age of microtransactions, overpriced DLC, and complex roadmaps dominating the video game market. Publishers are aiming to take advantage of gamers in exchange for easy profit, a deriding tactic that shockingly seems to take hold. We see gamers pay large sums of money in microtransactions to the point where the devs can remove them to prevent them from being leached. We can fight back and we can speak up about this to attract attention from bigger conglomerates, but eventually, doing that just keeps the fire from spreading and only serves in delaying the inevitable. In the case of Tetris 99, it's serviceable, it's accessible, it's easy to play, it subverts how video games are being sold today, and it's just too much goddamn fun. At the end of all this, I had managed to pour at least 70 hours into this game, and I reached above level 60. I was skeptical about Nintendo Switch Online the sooner it was announced, but so far, this game is worth the price of admission. I used up my free trial just to play this game, and after that, I started off with my 1-month plan because I have a feeling that I would be able to reach level 99 by then. If not, Nintendo has done a good service into pulling the players back in, including me. I have stuck by Nintendo through thick and thin, through bad times and good times, and I ain't shy in thinking about their stupid decisions. Tetris 99 is a good decision overall. And if you're the type who is fed up of Battle Royale games taking over gaming and a majority of people playing Fortnite, Apex Legends and the like, I ask you, why not give this game a chance instead? I trust that you will find it to be a breath of fresh air. Although the game itself seems bare bones as it is now, Tetris 99 is looking into evolving by adding new game modes and events to spice up the flavor. But until then, I will keep practicing and stick by this game till my interest dwindles. Or at least till my subscription runs out. There we go. Now where was I? Shit!